This is your prophecy update. Global warming is only one of the messages being used to force the nations of the world into a world government. The very world government prophesied in Revelation chapter 13 to be in power at the time of the second coming of Jesus Christ. Anytime you hear global governance propaganda like Agenda 21, sustainable development, nationalized healthcare, social justice, and national identification programs, think world government. But it is global warming, or should I say climate change, that is presently the poster child being used to frighten everyone into giving up freedom in order to save the planet. Now, the Blaze reports that a bombshell climate change study could totally dismantle the claims that humans are causing global warming, which is what the whole hoax is built upon, that global warming leads to climate change, that the planet's going to be destroyed because all of these climate disasters, and it's all caused by humans putting off too many carbon emissions. But there's a new study right now that could cause all that stuff to be false. So, a new peer-reviewed study by scientists and statisticians claims to reveal that nearly all of the warming shown in current temperature data sets from NASA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and the Met Office in the United Kingdom are the result of adjustments made to the data sets after temperatures were recorded, calling into question just how much warming is real and how much is just pure fantasy. In the report titled "On the Validity of NOAA, NASA, and Hadley CRU, the Global Average Surface Temperature Data, and the Validity of the EPA's CO2 Endangerment Finding," author James P. Wallace III, Joseph D'Alio, and Craig Idso examine the accuracy of the global average surface temperature data. They state the objective of this research was to test the hypothesis that global average surface temperatures, or GAST, data produced by the NOAA, NASA, and Hadley are sufficient credible estimates of global average temperatures such that they can be relied upon for climate modeling and policy analysis purposes. Many people understand how global temperature is calculated, as the authors of the study note that the GAST data is not simply raw temperature recordings. Rather, the data is adjusted after it is recorded to account for various problems such as contamination by urbanization, because many temperature recordings come from urban areas where numerous factors affect temperature readings. They need to be adjusted. That's the key word, adjusted. So they take a temperature and then they'll adjust it to more accurately reflect the true temperature. Critics of the most widely used global average surface temperature data sets have said that they think these adjustments have been exaggerated to favor the views that humans are causing climate change. Why? Because it's a hoax. They've got to doctor it up. To test the validity of the GAST data adjustments, the researchers examined other historical data and known cyclical patterns to determine whether the adjustments were appropriate. As a result, this research sought to validate the current estimates of GAST using the best available relevant data. This included the best documented and understood data sets from the U.S. and elsewhere, as well as global data from satellites that provide far more extensive global coverage and are not contaminated by bad sighting and urbanization impacts. The conclusive findings of the research are that the three GAST data sets are not a valid representation of reality. In fact, the magnitude of their historical data adjustments that removed their cyclical temperature patterns are totally inconsistent with published and credible U.S. and other temperature data. Therefore, it is impossible to conclude that the 3 published gas data sets that recent years have been the warmest ever, despite current claims of record-setting warming, it's all simply a hoax. Nearly all of the warming they are now showing, they are in the adjustments. Remember, they took true temperatures and then they adjusted them. That comes from meteorologist Joe DeAlio, who co-authored the study. And they told this to the Daily Caller News Foundation. Each data set pushed down the 1940s warming and pushed up the current warming. If the researchers' findings are accurate, it would mean that the global temperature data, most often used to show increasing temperatures, are potentially not accurate, and that the true global temperature is likely lower than is currently reported, further undermining the climate change alarmist claims. So you see, the entire global warming climate change ploy is simply a hoax perpetrated by those that are endeavoring to establish a socialistic world government and redistribute the wealth of the world. The very government that we're talking about prophesied to be in power in the end time.